Good morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you're at, ladies and gents. I am Kura Isagami, your resident Tinker and Medarotter, and this is the Medarot News Network, bringing you all the latest developments and happenings with our favorite pet fighting robot series. Well, there you have it, folks. For the first time in Medarot S's 3-year history, we've had a collaboration not return not once, but twice for a round 3 in the game, celebrating primarily the release of the Battle Network collection by Capcom coming very soon, if not already released. Plus, one thing that you may also realize and notice compared to the trailer is that we have one new person joining us this time around, and that was not present primarily for the fact that I was not able to get the trailer in time and get it clipped. But, as you see here, we see the introduction and debut of Dark Rock Band, officially debuting and joining the game of Medarot S, alongside all of the previous collaboration models. This is going to be a very jam-packed couple weeks going forward, since the series and collaboration was announced, kind of going into the next 2 or 3 weeks or so. But it's going to be very fun, lots of rewards to be had, and not just that either, we also got a heads up and teaser into some stuff that's going to be very well loved and well enjoyed by the community, with a lot of quality of life updates to make a lot of the harder fights just a little bit easier to stomach or even match toe-to-toe with. Starting, of course, with the gacha banners we have this week, of course, is the new model that is joining us, RME07 Dark Trance, with the kit of Predator, Railgun, Spark Strike, Biped Legs, and the leg ability of Adapter, which is also a first in the game's history, as Biped Legs with the leg ability that gives him a ring on every terrain across the board, which means even if the defenses may be particularly light as expected of the original Rock Trance model as well, it does mean that this model can be used pretty much anywhere and very readily right out of the box, with a very heavily offense-oriented kit. Behind him, we also have the rerun of the very first 2 models from when the collab was first announced, and that is RME0 Rock Trans with the kit of Cyber Core, Charge Buster, Slash, Biped Legs, and the leg ability of All-Rounder. And then behind him, RME01 Fortate with the kit of Destroy, Long Shot, Press, Float Legs, and the leg ability of Pupa. Now, compared to Dark Trance, who is the new model, and the only new model we're getting in this collaboration, which a lot of folks I can definitely see wiping the sweat off their foreheads and a sigh of relief, because we're not going to be completely bombarded with new models this time around, which is nice. But, in comparison to him, Rock Trance and Fortate are also capable of the tune-up treatment, which means that you can boost them even higher, completing some missions, to make them even more of a danger and threat on the field than they already impose. In the coming weeks, next week we will be seeing the reruns of Leader Colonel and Sword Blues, which is RMEs 03 and 04, and then also seeing Urinade and Guts Power, which is 05 and 06, coming in the next week after that. So it's going to be a very jam-packed week for a lot of folks, that, especially for new players that are just now starting the game. And for those that are coming from the Megaman from the Megaman community, I openly welcome you to the Medarot community with open arms, and look forward to seeing you have fun and enjoying this season's givings and rewards with this particular event. With the Fierce Battles we have this week, it is also going to be a little higher tier and very much so worth the farming, as we have 3 models we have not seen in the cycle for a pretty fair chunk of time now. Highlighting those is starting us off is GLM0 Sekizo, the original Golem type, with a kit of Triple Missile, Tank Legs, and the leg ability of Continuous P. Behind him, we see Pt.4 Sagehorn with a kit of Triple Sword, Biped Legs, and the leg ability of Generator. And then, last but not least, we also have his counterpart and twin, KWG11 Hirschkapper, with a kit of Triple Rifle, Biped Legs, and the leg ability of Radiator. Now, the first thing you may notice is, why are the kits reversed on Sagehorn and Hirschkapper? And you are 100% right. That was done purposely when they first debuted in Medarot 8. But, sidelighting that thought for just a moment, all 3 models here are honestly very useful in one term or another, especially for rookies and new players that are joining the game. These are basically going to be your best friend starter parts once you get out the gate and need something quick, easy to farm, and very easy to obtain. That being said, I honestly really can't give an MVP of the week to one particular bot, because honestly, all 3 of them are very good in their own right. Sekizo for tank legs that get just progressively faster for every turn, Sagehorn for very conventional and well-rounded sword skills, and Hirschkaffer for equally as well-balanced and well-rounded rifle skills. So ideally, you want to go after all three just for the sake of having them on hand, but it would also behoove you just for the sake of raising them to 3-star, just for the sake of having the parts raised and ready to go. Now, of course, aside from the collaboration itself, we are also getting a return of the SR collab Medarotters, Ikki, Arika, and Koji, dressed in the characters from the series to highlight the collab and the event. And just to kind of touch on what those three do briefly, land-based Ikki will allow you to bypass all traps once, and also increase your leg speed by 175 for 1 turn. This means anyone using any pesky traps or disturbance on the field will no longer bother you or hinder you. Arika, on the other hand, will buff heat and cool by 20% and an additional 40% if you're using field repair, which makes her very solid for healers that need to get to the line and from the line quickly. Koji, on the other hand, will buff heat and cool by 20% and an additional... Oops, I actually do have that wrong. He will actually be buffing your crit rate by up to 50% once that does go live. I do apologize for the typo, folks. I'm so sorry. But all three models will be very handy to have on hand and collect, and also for the sake of collab, generally never hurts to collect them or even make a shot at them because Medarotters are just a little easier to obtain compared to parts. Now with the event itself tying into that, you might have seen the other 4 there highlighting the cosplaying the Megaman characters as well, and that's because we are also getting a return of the Rockman collab events that allow you to collect all, and I don't mean any, and I don't mean just a few, but all of the previous rewards from the first couple runs. This includes Heart Roll RME02, which was the first run's event reward, basically more free parts. You also have access to all of the R-rank Medarotters there, Karen, Kikuhime, Iwanoi, and Sloan themselves. You also have access to all of the event BGMs from the Mega Man series that were imported into Medarot S. And then you also have the opportunity to collect all of the profile banners from the previous runs too, that you can use to decorate your nameplate when you show it off to other people. So again, this is going to be a very lucrative event for all new players and rookies that are just starting out, but for veterans who've been playing for a while, this will be kind of a good time to rest and relax and recoup just a little bit to keep your resources on the higher end and even recoup a little bit of what you lost. Now, in addition to rewards and events, we are also getting a limited-time collaboration Marathon Survival that will be joining the game as well through these next couple weeks. And to explain Marathon Survival briefly, upon going in with your set of parts, upon victory, those parts you use will be added to a banned list, which means you are not allowed to use them again until you reach the checkpoint. Every victory you obtain will add more parts to the banned list until that said checkpoint is obtained, whereas upon reaching it, all parts in the banned list will be removed and you may use them again to continue your run. Now this is generally a test and a check to make sure that you've been paying attention not just to how flexible you can be with builds, but also to make sure that you've been staying on top of raising even backup parts to have on hand, just for the sake of having them raised and ready to go, just in case you may need them for times like this. So the question I ask you is, have you been keeping up to date with raising parts? Now, in terms of the quality of life updates, these are probably going to be the even bigger pieces of news in my personal opinion. Maybe not towards rookies, but primarily geared towards the veterans who've been playing for a while now. And these are going to be very, very big updates. The first of which is medal level limits are now able to be ascended and capped at 200. Normally, this was only done by overclocked enemies and super invasions, but now, thanks to this new mechanic update, you can stand toe-to-toe and keep the fight as even as possible in order to help even those odds, especially with the harder ones as well. A new dungeon will be opening up to make a new resource to do so available, but you will also only be able to cap it out at 3 runs per day. And in addition, it will also be separating the materials needed by medal nature. That, of course, is power, speed, hunter, sniper, guard, and assist, each denoted by their own colors, and each nature will require a specific material to do so. The other really big piece of news we got is that the tune-up treatment also got notably easier going forward once this update does go live, and they will be implementing a new token/currency that you can use to help redeem and use towards those rewards and those tune-up bonuses, and highlight anything that you perhaps were struggling to obtain. So say that an online exhibition or that dodge leg mission that you really just couldn't get a hold of, well, thanks to this new currency system, you'll be able to just check it off and be done with it without having to drain your ruby resource just to do so for just one part. No real word on when this does go live, but when it does go live, it actually does come at a really good time because I was planning to redo some of my Robattle Studies 101's videos, including the tune-up treatment and metal ascension, so I guess this comes at a really great time once those mechanics do go live and are implemented in the game. On the community front, progress is still being made in leaps and bounds toward Medarot 3 with about little over 50% completion rate. We are still in need of translators and cleaners though, so if you are knowledgeable in coding or cleaning or Japanese and have some time on your hands, we are more than appreciative of any effort or help that you'd be willing to provide to see those to completion. Progress has already started to begin on Medarot 4, so decompilation is more or less still underway before they actually have an idea on what all needs to be done and worked on. And progress on Medarot Reloaded manga. All chapters have been collected, but we do need translators and cleaners to help make that available so we can post them on manga pages to make it even more so available and learn the story of Kagami and Metabi. Now for the weekly art highlights here on the MNN, I'm more than certain folks that have been watching for a while do recall seeing all the fan art of Dead Dog, the new Spotlight model that went live last week. And this art piece in particular by MNK Shiki is actually the original artist for Dead Dog. I've been keeping a very close eye, and they've been going ham on the fan art of everyone's lovable ripe zombie dog going live pretty much ever since day of announcement. So wonderful work to you. Definitely give him a follow if you'd like to see more art of your favorite zombie doggo. And my buddy Sadant Voiro also, this is actually a screenshot of a video he posted highlighting, in particular, something rare of a lesser-known title in the Medarot series, and that is Medarot Girls Mission. For those that are unaware, Girls Mission had a rather interesting mechanic to it, that upon completing a certain number of conditions being met in the fight, upon which including not taking a scratch and charging double Metaforce, you could accomplish what was known as a hyper finish, which is basically just a more stylistic way to flex on your foes and kind of go in for that kill with some razzle-dazzle. But Sadat was able to compile all animations that were used and all that were available in Medarot Girls Mission for all the hyper finishes. So, if you are interested in seeing just all those extra animations and what they do, definitely give Sadat a follow and go check him out on his YouTube channel as well. Lots of amazing work he does to help keep the Western community involved as well, especially on the Japan front where it's not as easy to do so. With all that being said, I do believe that covers everything for this week's episode, so again, and as always, I do appreciate you all for stopping by just as you always have. If you'd like to know more, you can follow us below on Facebook at the Medarot News Network page or the Metabots Forever communities on there. You can also join us on Discord in the link provided and in the comments below if you'd like to keep an even closer ear to the ground on the action. You can also reach out to me personally on Twitter at itsugami_Kura if you have any questions, feedback, or comments, or just like to reach out and say hello. I leave my DMs open for that very reason. In addition, if you are also a VTuber or streamer and would love to collab, I would love to hear from you. Definitely reach out to me for sure, and we can more certainly coordinate on that and find a date and time that works. Do also give MNK Shiki and Sadant Voiro follows as well on Twitter for more Medarot content. MNK Shiki for more of your favorite Dead Dog and Zombie Doggo for fan art from the artist himself, and Sadat for more work and what he's been doing not just on Twitter, but also on YouTube as well to keep the Medarot community updated and involved, not just on the JP front, but also on the Western front as well. But with all that being said, I do appreciate you all for stopping by just as you always have, and until next time, this is your host, Kura Isagami of the Medarot News Network, signing out.